In 1988, the Ottawa 67s were led by the top line of Andrew Castles, Dave Robotham, and Frank DiMuzio. They finished second in the Leyden division that year and met Oshawa in the division quarterfinal. It didn't start well, as the 67s dropped the opening 3 games. That set up a pivotal 4th game in Oshawa. Down 1 with less than a minute left in the 3rd, the 67s scored an unlikely goal.
We had set up a play that didn't work, so it looks like it's great genius, but we said, okay, if you get it, try to move inside a little bit off the wall, block out the one man, and everyone else go to the net and look for a rebound or screen. As it turned out, the guy got through too quick, so when we won the face-off, we had to shoot behind the net, while one of our fellows, Frank DiMuzio, went behind the net to get the puck, and as he centered it, their defenseman accidentally knocked it in his own net.
The 67s won the game in overtime on a goal by Matt Smith.
We had one fellow in the room after we won that, I'll never forget his line. We won, and we're still down 3-1, mind you. And it's not the best position to be in. Anyway, he got up and he put his hands up on the room and he said, "Lads, we got them right where we want them."
Indeed, they did. The 67s easily won the next 3 games, winning Game 7 5-0 in front of a packed house of the Civic Center. It is the only time in franchise history the team has overcome a 3-0 series deficit. Doug Wilson is remembered by Ottawa hockey fans as one of the all-time greats. His number 7 is retired. Wilson, currently the general manager of the San Jose Sharks, remembers his first impressions of the 67s and their coach.
Well, I was actually playing junior hockey in the Western League in Winnipeg, and my family got transferred back to Ottawa, and I'd already heard about the legend of Brian, but when I met him, I guess it's the same feeling I have for him today. He just commands so much respect. He's just an honest guy. He looks you right in the eyes, but he's also got that big smile and that big sense of humor.
Wilson was a consistent presence on the blue line in his 3 years with the team, posting totals of 87, 88, and 79 points. But what he's remembered for most is his shot.
I think when you talk about Doug Wilson as a junior player, he had a ferocious slap shot, and I don't think there was a kid in the country who could shoot the puck like him that year.
Dougie, when he was 12, 13 years old, had a slap shot that was over 100 miles an hour. And I can remember Dougie killing a penalty and standing behind the net, and nobody really rushed to get him because they didn't want him winding up and just letting it go.
Brian Kilrea doesn't hesitate to call Doug Wilson the best defenseman he's ever coached. High praise considering the amount of talented rear guards who have donned the barber pools over the course of his 30 years.
He was another one of those guys that almost could slow the play down, speed it up. He could dictate the terms of the game.
I'm proud to be an Ottawa 67, and I'm proud to have played for Brian Kilrea.
Doug Wilson would go on to play in over 1,000 NHL games and win the Norris Trophy as the league's best defenseman in 1982. As the 1977-78 season ended, there was hope in the nation's capital that the 67s would return to the Memorial Cup, where they had lost in the final the previous year. But the obstacle in the first round was considerable. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, led by a rookie center named Wayne Gretzky.
He was an absolutely remarkable player when you figure that he was 16 years old at that time. And, you know, he scored 180 points, and his ability to do the magical things that everyone saw him do in the NHL, those types of things were starting to show themselves in the junior level that year.
When you have Wayne Gretzky on your team, everyone around you believes that you can win. And that's even more important than the skill that you have, the systems you're playing, those types of things. It's a matter of believing as a team.
He was magic. He saw and did things that people just don't do.
The series was a battle to 8 points, and thanks to the stellar play of Greg Millen in the Sioux goal, the series went to an 8th and deciding game in Sault Ste. Marie.
That was an awesome hockey game. It's probably one of the best, most exciting junior games maybe that I've ever called.
Late in the third, the game was tied when a hero emerged.
We were running around a bit in our own end, and I was like fighting like tooth and nail to make sure I could get the puck out because you didn't want to lose it. And I did. I finally ended up getting the puck out, and the first thought was I got to get to the bench because I had nothing left.
I went on for him. Bobby Smith was still on the ice.
I broke wide around, cutting in off the right wing.
And Jimmy Fox broke right away between the bench and the net.
I finally made my way into a position where I was open.
And made a backhand pass out to Fox, and he buried it.
Bobby puts it right on my stick, and I just had to kind of tap it one time and in.
I didn't need a color man. I didn't need a color man because they're just, it was just, you know, the action was just so unbelievable that you could just feel it.
The 67s advanced to play Peterborough, but the injury bug caught up with them and the Petes moved on. Even though they didn't win the OHL championship or go on to the Memorial Cup, the 77-78 Ottawa 67s are remembered by many as the best team in the franchise's 40-year history. When the Ottawa 67s defeated the Sudbury Wolves on March 9, 2003, it marked the 1,000th victory in the junior hockey career of Brian Kilrea. But what makes Killer so successful? Why has he been able to get the most from his hockey team for over 30 years?
He gets the most out of players by relating to them and understanding the players and putting them into situations where they can have success.
He has a great record of getting the most out of a player's ability.
The honesty, you know, it can be a tough business, but you got to treat people straight up, and you know, it's better off that they hear the truth so they can deal with it. And you always knew where you stood with Brian, and I know that's something that you know, Smitty and myself and all the guys that were there always appreciated.
Donna, you had the puck, you carried it all the way back. You came up to the blue line, you had Pekka wide open, you had Phelps wide open. You held on to the puck. Now no one gets it, you got checked and the puck is down that end. Move the puck a little bit quicker, get on him a little bit quicker, and make sure you're out working. Come on, let's go.
I appreciate that, you know, when somebody lets you know where you stand, and there was lots of times he let me know where I stood. It wasn't always good.
I think he's probably got the best eye for talent in hockey, in junior hockey for sure. He can spot almost instantly a guy who can be a player or a guy who can help our team.
No, Brian didn't necessarily watch every move you make. He let you grow as a person. He let you grow as a hockey player, and he tried to make sure everyone was having fun.
Another thing is he's a guy that's changed with the times. Kids come in every year different, and kids I'm sure were different from the 80s to the 90s to 2000s, so he adapted, and he can still put you in your place pretty quick. You never really wanted to challenge him.
As a game coach, as a bench coach, and the way his teams are much better in March and April than they were in October, I think is a testament to how he can bring a team together.
When he first arrived in Ottawa, 5'8", 17-year-old Corey Locke wasn't expected to be an impact player. But in his 3 seasons with the 67s, Locke, like Alan McCauley before him, would capture OHL and CHL Player of the Year honors.
It always seems that when we talk about good hockey players, they're not very big ones. And Corey wasn't very big either, but he played big.
He just became one of the better players in the league through hard work and great condition, and being surrounded with talent that was conducive to making him better.
He wouldn't let size hamper him, you know, just, you know, there's the true role model for any kid out there, you know, who wants to be a hockey player that's not the biggest guy in the world. Look at Corey Locke, and look what this guy did.
Locke's finest moment came in the 67's playoff run in 2003. Trailing 3-2 to St. Michael's in the Eastern Conference Final, the 67s needed a win on the road to force Game 7. But Game 6 didn't start well for Locke. He was struck by a Matt Albiani shot to the face.
I think it was 30 stitches right to the mouth.
That again says that what a guy will do to win a hockey game, because I can remember the mess that he was in when he got hit with that puck in the little St. Mike's Arena and disappearing, and again, us, Killer and I, looking at each other and saying, here we go again. Is there any chance that we'll ever get him back in this game? And sure enough, he reappeared after getting his face all stitched up and scored the winning goal.
Locke's heroic return and a goal in overtime forced Game 7. which the 67s won 5-2, advancing them to the OHL championship.